It's a very pleasant good afternoon and warm welcome to the podium. We thank God it's Friday and it's a final edition for this week. Today is the 25th of October 2022. We start with our quote of the day, which comes from Alan K. Simpson, an American politician. It says, if you have integrity, nothing else matters. If you don't have integrity, nothing else matters. Coming up, one of the first presenters of this program, the podium, Asmi Uba, is now the new Deputy Director General of the SLBC. Members of the Sierra Leone Medical and Dental Council extends 21 days working day ultimatum to withhold services. Sierra Leone Adult Education Association hosts its former learners conference to exhibit former learners. SLBC to play Orange tomorrow at the Climax Multimedia Beach Soccer Competition, which I'll be speaking to the coach of the SLBC team. All these issues, including your messages, which you can send to 030-073-719. The program is the podium. You're watching the podium live on the SLBC. You can be part of our conversation. Visit our Facebook page at Slbc Tv, or you can send your comment to 030-073-719. We start with something very much important to us as podium. As one of the first presenters of this program, the podium, Asmi Uba, is now the new Deputy Director General of the SLBC. His appointment was made yesterday by the SLBC Board of Trustees after going through a rigorous process by the board and other prominent media practitioners who made up the committee in the country. Asmi has been in the media landscape for over 2 decades. Started as a cub reporter to presenter and grew to the ranks of both the institution he represents, the SLBC, and the media family, where he served as National Secretary General of the Sierra Leone Association of Journalists from 2019 to 2022. This prolific writer and news editor was a member of the team of the 2021-2022 Hubert Humphrey Fellows of the Arizona State University as a certified public relations, strategic and crisis communicator. His appointment came in the wake of filing the vacancy created due to the end of service of the former Deputy Director General of the SLBC, Almamlai Kamara, who was appointed to serve for a period of 4 years. Well, on behalf of the podium team, where Asmi happens to be one of the first presenters of this program, we say congratulations. So move on now to another issue this afternoon. Remember, you're still watching the podium live on the SLBC. The Sierra Leone Adult Education Association has organized its former learners conference to exhibit former learners, diversify their programs, and solicit support from local and international partners. The former learners comprise people who have gone through adult education in different courses. For more on that, I have in the studios Daniel Tifula, Monitoring and Evaluation Officer, Slbc. Good afternoon, Mr. Fula. Welcome to the podium, sir.
Good afternoon, listeners, and thank you for having me.
So give us a background to this set of people that you actually exhibited yesterday as learners.
Yeah, thank you very much. And one thing that we have found out over the years is that Slbc has been working throughout all of these years, but little is made known to us, even though with huge successes that we have made over the years. So what happened yesterday was we exhibited just a few number of learners who have gone through our stages. Some have never gone to school, and we give them the platform. We encourage them. After the 3 years, we accompany them across the processes, and some have been able to go through to have university education. Some are in the process still, and others are now owning institutions they call their own. And they diversify. They come from almost all the regions where we are operating. And these are just the tip of the iceberg. We have a lot more of them. It comprises women. It comprises also youths. Also, we have men among them. And it will interest you that some of these learners that we exhibited yesterday thought the world is all ended for them, given their ages. But unfortunately, we challenged them, and they have proven that. And so they showed to the world yesterday that life could start at any stage. You can make a difference. You can rewrite your story. You can make a difference in your life regardless of the age. Being able to identify their opportunities and also take advantage of them and hit their targets.
Now, Mr. Full, how do you normally get this set of people to be part of your program? Because normally it's difficult for age-able people, maybe 40 to 50. They are challenged with societal issues to take care of their families, and they say, you know what, let me go back to the classroom and see what I can do. How do you normally encourage them to? Because it's challenging.
Honestly, it is. And because we knew that we are dealing with adult learners, we have a background of where they are coming from. We understand the challenges they are going through, especially women. Some of them are single mothers. So how do you ensure that they are able to go through this program? Because they need transportation, they need to move here and there. So we have accompanying projects that go alongside with these literacy programs that we are conducting, and also the functional literacy programs that we are operating. Others who have centers, because we are almost in every district, but in only 6 centers we do have. Where we do have centers, they are able to engage into activities or to learn skills that will make them become self-reliant. For other areas that we do not have centers, we try to bring in some projects and programs that will target these learners, supporting them indirectly to have alternative means of income whilst going through this rigorous educational system or learning system, so that at the end they will be able to have what they can support their families and also pursue their education. But it's not easy because there are too many and we cannot cater for all. So some we have to encourage them. We try to link also others with other opportunities around their environment so that they can continue. Some will drop along the way, but we'll find them. We encourage them and bring them along. And so one of the beneficiaries yesterday who has gone through Njala University was able to tell her story. At some point she dropped, and we'll find her again and pick her along, and today she's a graduate. So we are grateful
so
for
let's
that.
talk about the idea. Most adult learners, the first thing they normally, when they go to such program, is the immediate benefit.
Yes.
And I know, for example, SLA, they don't have that result. Is this challenging? Because what they want is to get something in return.
Yes, it is challenging, and more so when we are piloting our programs for 3 years. So you could imagine holding an adult to learn something in 3 years is challenging. And what makes it much more challenging is the fact that we do not have startup kits to give at the end. But what we are telling them and what we have been able to convince them is that we are not doing crash programs. I mean, giving you just a tip of the skill, and then you have not grasped it totally to become a professional, and they give you, a startup kit. You go at the end, you will not be able to utilize it because you have not been fully abreast with the skill. So what happens, you will have the tool with you, so you can't use it. So what you will end up doing is you dispose of it, either you sell it to have immediate income. So what we do is we tell you that, look, we are giving you these skills. If you cannot have the necessary resources to start for yourself, but it gives you an advantage to be a professional and to have an employment opportunity. And we have success stories of, say, for instance, you take ladies from the catering department. After going through the 3 years program, most of them are now serving in various restaurants and even hotels, and we are proud of them, and they are proud of Slbc. So that is what we are doing. But others, definitely, they are finding it very difficult to cope because they have to look and fend for their families, and some of them are single mothers. It is really, really challenging, and getting donors to support us for the alternative methods of livelihood whilst they go through these courses is very, very difficult to get. So that's why we exhibited yesterday this learners conference, to showcase the successes that we have gotten, and also to tell the world what Slbc has been doing and what we have in store and what we intend doing moving forward, so that people can help us in this direction.
In this society, are adults actually willing to go back to the classroom?
Yes, they are ready, but they have these challenges that we are saying, the livelihood challenges. So what we do, we have, yes, all our facilitators, we've trained them how to cancel these individuals. Yes, it will be challenging for the first 3 years, but after going the first 3 years, you will see the difference in your life, and you will have the opportunity that my means of making, income has increased, because your knowledge has increased. And to tell you, whatever causes, what we have done of late is that we have included in all of our programs entrepreneurship, changing their mindset, how they could exploit the environment to make money through the necessary creative things that do exist in their environment. So having that at the back of their mind, if they are able now to tap on small resources, they will be able to be doing petty trading whilst they go through the learning process, and that is an eye-opener for most of our learners. And so facilitators are now bent on counseling them, telling them alternative ways that they can utilize whilst they go through the 3 years program.
Okay, so let's talk about this is another batch. How do you intend normally to get the other batch? And to, again, because the challenge, I also listen to some of their stories. To maintain 3 years, especially, these are big people. They have their families, they have how to, the bread and butter issue. So again, how do you normally prepare their minds before actually starting the course generally?
Well,
that's important just to avoid the challenges you mentioned.
Yes. One of the things is that at the start of every discipline that they want to pursue, we counsel them, telling them the hurdles that they will be facing, and challenging them that they have not been the first people that are going through this type of challenges. Others have gone through much more challenges than them, but they were able to succumb and sail through. So we know they are not different from those kind of people. All that is needed from them is to put their focus and see how they could work it out throughout the point. We have others, like I said, they do drop along the line, and we trace them. We still find a way to encourage them so as to come out successful at the end of it. So we have well-trained facilitators with psychological skills. They use psychology to talk to them, and they are very, very much professional in their jobs. We want to thank them, our facilitators. They are like mothers and fathers. They sympathize with these people, their situation, and see how they could work together with them. Some even use their personal resources to support them, just to enable them go through the process. So it is really not easy, but we are talking to them. We are giving them life testimonies, and these testimonies will help them to say, okay, if this one, who is much more challenged than me, was able to go through these difficulties, why not me? And so those are the things that we are using to lure them to go through the 3 years program.
Okay, continue to be with us. See Mr. M&E Officer Sladia. Yesterday, the organization organized its former learners conference to exhibit former learners, diversify their programs, and solicit support from local and international partners. Let's now look at sports this afternoon, and that has to do with outside SLBC. SLBC football team tomorrow is to play Orange at the ongoing Climax Multimedia Beach Soccer Competition. So what is currently happening, I have the coach in the studio, Sheku Smaila. Sheku, good afternoon, welcome to the podium, sir.
Thank you so much, Salmata.
Okay, so give us an idea first. Let's talk about this invitation by Climax Multimedia Beach Soccer Competition. How often does such invitations are given to teams like the SLBC, and how normally do you ensure that you prepare your team well for such competition?
Well, Salma, this is not the first time Climax Multimedia, in collaboration with the Beach Cafe, this is not the first time they are inviting the SLBC to be part of an end of year gala. This is the second time actually, and events like this one is really very much important, especially when we are coming to the end of the year. It gives us the opportunity to hobnob, to interact with other corporate institutions in this country. So it has been an annual event, and the SLBC has been there always to participate. And through this, we've been able to kind of, meet old friends and kind of, make new ones as well. So it has been a very eventful kind of activity, that is organized annually by the Climax Multimedia and that of the Beach Cafe, at Lumley. So our relationship with the organizers has been very, very fruitful, because the thing is, as the saying goes, all work and no play will make Jack or Mary a dull boy or girl. So it is very important that we have an activity like this, especially when we are gradually getting to the end of the year. So it has been very eventful.
Okay, so let's talk about preparation now for tomorrow's match.
Well, I think we have done our best. The technical team, and which I'm heading as the head coach for the Slbc, football team. We've had our training sessions, and already in my mind, I've done my team selection. I believe, and I want to believe, I'm giving the assurance to our fans and friends, viewers, listeners of the Slbc. But we are, mentally and physically fit to take on Orange, because the match tomorrow at 3 p.m. our first encounter is going to be between us, Slbc, and that of Orange and Sierra Leone. So, our just yesterday at our training session at the Aberdeen Beach, I was able to identify talented young people working here as broadcasters, as technical staff. The thing is, how tedious our job is, as broadcasters. We don't have much time to exercise or to get ourselves involved in, extra curricular activities. But there are times, we probably will just do some, especially during the weekends, we go out, we do some jogging and all the rest of it. Some people individually in their own different communities or various communities, they do take part in football exercises, they do jog and other physical exercises. So as far as I know, as far as my own eye, the technical eye, seeing what football is and knowing what football is, I think we are mentally, we are physically, and if you like, we are psychologically prepared to take on Orange tomorrow.
Yeah, because the Orange team, I understand, reports suggest they are also very strong team. They have been competing. So how prepared is your team to face them? Because this is not a comic match, it's something that is very much serious.
But the thing is that, since it is a corporate gala in a way, this particular gala is for workers. We don't want to go to the beach cafe or to the beach tomorrow and see regular players playing. Because I know that Orange is a very big company.
Yeah,
they've got the money to go import players from other places to come play for them. They'll use their money. But for this particular thing to be competitive, to be interesting, we want to see, full. We want to see staff members. We want to see staff of Orange playing against us, staff of the Slbc. We don't want to go there and see regular players. People for whom football is a career. Not that we are afraid of the encounter. We are not, because I know we are prepared. But we want to see regular staff members of Orange, taking on us tomorrow. We don't want to go to the field. In fact, that will undermine the integrity of the competition itself. Because we are expecting to go and play against workers and not regular players, people whose career is football. There'll be no fun.
I've just seen the practice yesterday. How was it? Were you able to identify those you think could actually, bring in glory back to the Slbc?
Yes, indeed. Yes.
Practice correctly.
Yes. This was the training session yesterday at the Aberdeen Beach. Yes. I was able to identify a good number of our workers here. who can actually perform. Like I told you, I've already done my team selection. I know that we're gonna make SLBC proud. We are going to give Orange a run for their money. In fact, we are going to give them a bloody nose. Wow. Yes, that is the assurance I want to give our fans and friends.
Okay,
because I know we have the capacity.
Thank you very much, Coach Sheko Sumaila, who is just telling us about the match tomorrow between Orange and SLBC at the ongoing Climax Multimedia Beach Soccer Competition. Let's now look at another issue. Let's look at the level of sand mining at a village called Wunkia in Football Community, and let's join our intern reporter who went to the village and sent in this report, Abdul Kamar.
Even though sand mining is an essential resource for infrastructural development, residents of Rokai said sand mining was never beneficial to them because it brought no development but misery and more poverty. Village Chief Alpha Kagbo said the activity was their hope of making life better in the village, but it turned out to be the direct opposite. The chief said now they have turned their attention to agriculture to provide for their families.
We are now planting okra, cucumber, potato leaves, and some other farm products.
Youth leader Usman Kanu, also a farmer, said sand miners took their sand away after making abortive promises to bring development to their community. As it is, he said the community does not have proper water supply, transportation, electricity or road, and no school to educate their children. He said they need chemical fertilizer to enhance their agricultural production.
This sand mining has been started, but which have been stopped.
The reason why sand mining was stopped is because we do not have a good road. They come and collect the sand and promise to make the road, but the road network is still poor. The road from 4 Mile to our village is very bad. Our village is local and do not have a good water well to fetch from.
Village is local. This water well, we don't pour with water well. We don't get good water in the village.
According to women youth leader Titi Jallo, it was she who suggested that sand mining must be stopped in the village since it was not beneficial and carried potential impact on the environment such as flooding. Titi said that agriculture was now their only source of livelihood. She called on government for support in terms of infrastructure and other necessities.
The people they come for come big.
The miners usually come to beg us for the sand, but we stopped them not to continue with the mining because they are not bringing any income or any benefits. So it has to stop for flooding not to occur in the future.
Flooding too mad. Then go down at their own place, flooding take place in this village.
As Sierra Leone grapples with balancing economic development and environmental sustainability, most especially in the rural areas, sand mining poses significant environmental risk. The extraction process can lead to soil erosion, loss of biodiversity, and disruption of local ecosystems, just as the women youth leader of Rokai village was trying to prevent.
Thank you to our intern reporter Abdullah Hussein for that story on the level of sand mining and its effect on the environment, create a livelihood for some in that community. Let's move on now to the Sierra Leone Medical and Dental Association, and I have in the studio Dr. Samba Jano, Vice President, Sierra Leone Medical and Dental Association. Good afternoon, Doctor. Welcome to the program, sir.
Good afternoon.
Okay, since the start of this week, we have been getting Dr. Geraldine George, we have been getting Dr. McJudge on several programs on this issue of fuel. There was a meeting with the Vice President and 9 ministers. Where are we currently? Because I know there was, ultimatum issued, and there have been several, negotiations. We also saw the Minister of Health talking about the budget allocation just on fuel and the challenges. Where are we currently?
Currently, we are still kind of a checkmate. are waiting because we decided as an association to extend the ultimatum timing because of the engagement we were expecting from the government side, which we held in the Vice President of Sierra Leone's office, and we discussed lengthily regarding what we want and how we want in terms of the consistency of getting our fuel, because that's the main situation. The supply of fuel has been totally erratic, and which is not good for us as medics, because we have more time with our patients and we want to spend that quality time in focusing directly in terms of our work. So whenever we get deviation regarding fuel and other allowances, it pains most of the doctors, especially the house officers, who are about 70 to 80% of the main workforce for the doctor. So at the end of the day, we want to focus on our clinical activities and other things instead of all the time asking. So because of that, we raised two key points that we requested for. One is for the first and second quarter of our fuel, which we have received. The second point is the consideration for the consistency. That is, we need to get a clear point. We need to get a clear cut that we don't need to be asking whenever we have the end of the quarter for the fuel. So there should be kind of a consequences structured so that if we fail to participate as doctors, we'll receive our fuel, and any doctor who fail to work because of certain reason, especially regarding doing everything being equal, that is ceteris paribus, not in a chaotic situation, we expect all doctors to be working and they too supposed to receive their fuel. So we decided as an association, we held an online meeting, which is virtually. We had the Zoom meeting, we discussed lengthily, and we had our points, which we clearly stated, and we asked members to vote and on the point whether we're going to stick to our plan for the strike. And I can tell you, Salmata, almost 100% of our members voted for us to maintain the strike action, because at the end of the day, we've requested several times, and we know that the human resource, especially for health, is nothing to talk about. It's like you have a process of, say, demand and supply. You have high demand for the doctors, but the supply very, very low. It pains me so much, and it is totally ironical in Sierra Leone for you to see that chain not working. In economics, you normally say when you have your demand less, the supply is less, the quantity demand also increase. So you have this vice versa at the end of the day. But we expect the price, the quality to be taken into high consideration. But it is not in this case. We have low number of doctors. Many are going out. What we are fighting for as an association, as our president, Dr. Freddy Coker, measured, I want to reiterate his statement during our press conference. He totally said that we are not only fighting, striking to disadvantage our patients. We love them, but there is a bigger picture. There is a bigger thing that is more than the strike that doctors are striking today. If we fail as a nation not to support our doctors, not to support us in this fight, we are leading to a situation in which we get a brain drain. When we get brain drain, you can't fight that. We can't fight that as doctors. You can't fight that as government. Everybody is seeking greener pasture at the end of the day. We need to be realistic. If you put 5,000 yen to pay Dr. Jallo in Sierra Leone, and in the other country they pay me, let's say 20 or 30, I would prefer that. But if you put 5,000, we are not asking to pay us the same. We are not asking for equality. We are asking for equity. So let people know the distinctions between certain things we are asking as professionals. We will never equate ourselves to the salary for people in US. It is just not feasible. We know the socio-economic implication in the country. We know everything. In as much as we are thinking as Sierra Leoneans, we want the people who are in this trusted position, in responsible position, for them also to put themselves in our situation, to give Caesar what belongs to Caesar. We are not asking for anything more or extra. It is these are just some of the basic things which are imbibed within the civil service code. Everybody who is grade 9 and above, especially for medics, we are doing extra. It pains me at times when people want to compare. Oh, doctor, you ask for this, you ask for this. We want to follow the civil service code, but doctors are working off hours, more than how many hours a day? We're doing on call. We're doing Saturdays and Sunday. We weekends. We are also human beings. We have families. We have friends. We have to push on in life, and we have to get the social work balance. And it is clear. Even the World Health Organization recognizes denied that, and even this year we focus on mental health in the workplace. And it is so ironic for me always. Doctors, we help people, we want to save the life of people, especially in the world we are living. So at the end of the day, if we are not taken care of, it is very, very much bad for the nation.
But by your statement, it appears as if there is no headway in all of this. Even within the meetings after meetings, including the Vice President's office and the other line.
No.
Even with this extension, it shows that there is no meeting point.
No, that's why I said checkmate. Checkmate is still better than game is over. You understand? We've not taken like the action. We're still working. So we decided that, because from the meeting from the Vice President office, we decided that we have to get a committee, because we had issue with trust. So the trust of us that like at the end of the quarter we are going to receive our fare. Because of this trust issue, now the government representatives who we are at the meeting there, we agreed that the Ministry of Finance will be part of that committee, representative for Ministry of Labor, and even our ministry that we're working for, Ministry of Health, and as well as the Sierra Leone Medical Dental Association. Then of course the Attorney General was around. He contributed a very good way in terms of structuring how we do things and advise certain things. So at the end we are going to form that committee, and that's what we've asked for within this 1 week, so that that structure can be put in place. Then we'll have the guarantee that at the end of the day we don't want to just call for a strike. We expect that when the quarter is over, we're supposed to get our fare. Then even that, we're not forcing the government too much, and we even made a provision of a buffer month. That is, a whole month will be provided after the quarter. Maybe there are other things, something will just come up and the government need to readjust, so they can get a whole month. After that whole month, if nothing substantial from the quarter payment, then we can give a 21 days notice. That's the kind of consequence we were talking about at the end of. But the deliberately ignore signing that one, and we've engaged our members and they are not too okay with that. So we are still
yes, with that document, the Ministry of Finance at that meeting made it very clear that they cannot put their signature there, because again it's the availability of resources. They cannot say first or second quarter. They are concerned about the timing you are giving them. So again, this whole aspect of field, the Ministry of Finance is very important in all of it. Is the Ministry of Finance said at this point we cannot put our signature. It's depend on the availability of resources. They appear not something very tangible.
Yeah, I was in the meeting. We have things. We have what to call like realistic situation, and I believe as a country, Sierra Leone for me is a rich country. I know that. I've worked in different ministries or other areas. It is just about priority, the scale of preference, and you noting what you want to prioritize up the scale. If we're talking about Sierra Leone, we need the country to get very good human resource in whatever area or sectors of field you're working. We expect our human resource to be healthy, and who are these people who are providing this health factor? I know it will cascade a lot of debate. I'm not saying that doctors are important than other professionals, but we are at the top of a pyramid, which is very much essential that we have a lot to do in terms of making clinical decision, of which we are humans and we don't want any mental disturbance for any reason or emotional implication that will affect our patient. We have a key principle which states non-maleficence, do no harm, and there are a lot of ways. If you're not stable financially, you are also sick. Because it's not just about the mental and physical well-being, but it is about the economic or socio-economic situation. So you asking for a doctor, do you expect me, Salma, to move with my vehicle and ask you, Salma, can you tip me 5 liters? It doesn't call for. It doesn't call for. Let's call spade a spade. We love our country. That's why some of us are still here working.
Are you seeing light at the end of the tunnel?
Definitely.
Even with this extension.
No, definitely we are seeing, because from the meeting, I respect the point the minister representative from finance measured, of course, and the Attorney General clearly explained the reason of the legality in terms of double signing another agreement, because we had a contract. We discussed lengthily, but at least she measured that they can commit, but not like that written one, which is good. It's still a gentleman's agreement, and we hope this time, because of the committee is large, that is what even we use as an executive to convince our members for them to even allow the extension. If not, by now the strike will have started. You understand? So at the end of the day, at least some of the members appreciated that. Some were even saying, Dr. Jallo, you again? I said, no, you know the way I think. But when at least government has pushed a bit, we expect us to also participate, give our own input a bit. So we come midway. We are really ready for that, and we really don't want the strike. But if we are pushed to that, definitely we have no option, and we're going to strike, because I measured it clearly. It is better for us to fight and strike for our patient directly or indirectly than we allow people to get brain drain. At the end of the day, we can't retrieve them. We had recently about 15 people who graduated from Ghana, specialists, ops and gyne. I talked with most of them. The probability for most of them to come is very slim, Salmata. How do we expect to live as a nation? We know the free medical program, the free maternal program that the government is pushing about. We want to support that. But the more specialists you get in different disciplines, the more support we can give to our country. And it is based on the remuneration that we are getting, based on the allowances that we are getting. We can't get everything, we know that. We can't get everything because there are other people they're supposed to pay at the end of the day. But let priority be given to some of us who are doing the extras in the country so that things will work well.
Okay, let's talk about the Minister of Health was at the Ministry of Information press conference and mentioned over 31 billion millions just spent on fuel for doctors yearly. What is the relationship with doctors and the Ministry of Health? Because it appears as if the relationship is not that rosy, because so many doctors say they are very disappointed with your parent ministry.
Yeah, no, that's definite. It is expected.
But the minister is justifying that, they look at the resources very much. This is huge, so there must be challenges. He was at the press conference.
Of course, I respect him. I love the way he analyzed most of the time, Dr. Dembi. Yeah, that's a good form. Administratively, you look at things, but we have to look at the realistic point of view. Yeah, that amount is huge. Whatever analysis is huge. But mind you, doctors have suffered a lot from the time we noticed. That is, by then I was the Secretary General of the association. Just imagine, that's the only time doctors noticed that we're supposed to get 45 liters. Meaning the country has been cheating us for years, and that's bad. If it is in any other place, we can ask for our backlogs, but we can't do that to our country because we have all the right. If something that due us, we have not been receiving it, either because we are not knowledgeable about that or everything was hidden. But later, because of some of the push some of us have been pushing, we went through certain documents and noticed that these are our real right, and it's not something, and it is something that is within the black and white of the legal document at the end, or any document binding our work.
So what will make you actually suspend this 21 days ultimatum announced now officially?
Yeah, it's easy if we get this. We stated the point. One has been completely cleared, or like I said, 90% cleared, because for the first and second quarter fuel, most of us have received that first and second quarter fuel, which the ministry did extremely well in terms of pushing or facilitating that, and we really appreciate that. And few people who have not received, we are working on the modalities for them to receive. So point one is clear. The second one now is for us to build that trust, because we've been in this for over years. We're still going back and forth, and we don't like that back and forth. So that's why we want people that can stand as guarantee. That's why we insisted for MOF. But because we've listened to them and genuinely we want to be realistic, and we respect the decision from the Ministry of Finance. So them being part of the committee, Ministry of Labor also contributed greatly during the meeting, and we appreciate that. So with all these parties within the committee and SLMD representative also there, I believe the consistency will be okay. So that's one. So the other aspect is for them to recognize that they have just taken new doctors and they have started working, so they can't benefit from the third quarter, but let them factor them into the fourth quarter, even if it is a supplementary list. So now the ministry, they've done well. They pushed for us to even get funding for the third and fourth quarter, which the minister showed us the document, and we appreciate that. But the only question we raise is that by the end of this fourth quarter, the starting of the fourth quarter, we have already new colleagues, And these are the ones who are extra working, but their name are not in the list, about 65 of them. So it will be totally unfair for us, some of us who are seniors. We say, okay, we are a bit okay, with or without government salary, I'm comfortable. But does that mean I should not advocate for the other juniors? When we were junior as an house officer, we have seniors who are medical officer specialists who we are advocating for us. So it is our responsibility also to carry them along. So that's what we're speaking. Let them give confirmation that these doctors, they will consider them. That is for their fourth quarter. Then for us, we receive the third and fourth quarter is fine, or they wait when it is complete. We are not rushing the government to pay the third and fourth quarter, but they promise that they've put modalities in place to pay the third and fourth quarter, and we are also willing to accept that, and the documentation to prove that it will be consistent. We don't get any issue for it not to be erratic in terms of the supply. We will highly appreciate that, and that will take to our members. We are awaiting them because we have written our letters. Some of these points I've stated, they are all within that letter, and we have sent it to ministry. It is up to them to respond affirmatively that they are okay with that. If they say no, then that's the only thing that we still keep the checkmate, or we start the strike action.
Okay, thank you so much. Continue to be with us, Dr. Slbc. He is the Vice President of the Sierra Leone Medical and Dental Association of Sierra Leone, giving us updates so far about the negotiation. There has been call for sit down at home early this week as a result of the delay in the disbursement of field to doctors. The program you're watching is the Podium. Let's move on now to right to access information. There's latest development from that commission on issues of how people access information. And from on that, we have Amara Toronka, Public Information and Communication Officer, right to access information. Good morning, good afternoon, I beg your pardon, and welcome to the podium, sir.
Good afternoon, Salmatel. Good afternoon.
So give us updates on this latest development within the commission.
Well, as you know, and viewers also, the Right to Access Information Commission was established by an Act of Parliament in 2013, and the commission came into existence in 2014. So we are actually commemorating our 10th anniversary, and part of it is to roll out digital access to information. All this while, for the last 10 years, the Commission has been hugely, using the paper-based system of accessing information. So now, under the leadership of Dr. Ibrahim Sagashaw, the Commission has decided to digitalize access to information. So that is the most recent development among many.
Okay, so tell us about this latest digital access to information.
The digital access to information is just like the normal paper-based system, where you have the various forms involved in accessing information. That is Form A, the request form, which the requester fills and then sends to the public authority and sends to RIC a copy. Form B, that is the acknowledgement form, which the public authority fills in and in receipt of the information requested. And Form C is the response form, which the public authority also fills to either provide the information or to reject it, because the Right to Access Information Act also has what we call exempt information. Not all information are given out. So if the public authority in their interpretation think that the information is an exempt information, they are not obliged to give that one out. But mark, you also have Form D, that is the complaint form. If the requester also thinks that that information doesn't fall under the exempt information, the person, that is the requester, can file in a complaint to the Right to Access Information Commission, and the commission can now determine whether the information is exempt or it should be provided as per the Act.
Okay, people still have problem with the aspect of the exempt information. Give us an idea of the information that people can never request for. But there's always that is a challenge, be it for public officers, be it for maybe people members of the public who may concern. What are these information that you cannot actually get?
Well, the Act is very clear as to what amounts to exempt information. Largely, it's based on personal information and information that if such is let out, it will cause a whole lot of national instability. That is information that hinges on the territorial integrity of the country, like national security. Okay, it is not too clear per se, these are the items, so we can highlight them. But say for example, it's common sometimes we talk of our army, our military, and you want to go to the military headquarters and ask them for the number of ammunition, the war tanks they have, and all of these things. That cannot be provided, because if such information is let out, it is actually tantamount to exposing our military strength and all of those things. They have a way of exposing their strength, the military, but not for you to know everything about their weaponry might and all of that. So, and also personal information, like somebody's medical history. You want to know about somebody's personal life, those personal things. Sometimes, though the public authority sometimes want to use those clauses to say exempt information, that is the beauty of the act. If you think that that information doesn't amount to exempt information, you cannot apply or filing complaint to the commission. We have the information commissioner and also the team of commissioners and a whole lot of experts that will now sit and determine whether that information is exempt or not. And if the information, the commission in its wisdom decides that the information is not exempt, the commission will write to that public authority and ask them to release the information. And if the public authority fails to do that, the act provides that the commission can fine them. And recently we even fined the Public Affairs Commission. We fined them at 80,000 new loans, and that is 80 million old loans, because they refuse to respect the order of the commission. So we've been doing that. If you apply for information and you are rejected, you don't stop there. Write to the commission. If you think that that is not satisfactory to you, you write to the commission for interpretation. And if we interpret that to mean that it doesn't fall under exempt clause, we'll write to that public authority and we'll show you.
Let's talk about the debates. There is still debate or contention as to the exempt clauses that's captured under the right to access information to that of public interest. For example, let's say an individual is serving a particular office, but personal information for which is part of the exempt clauses is of public interest, be it the salary of the individual, the income, as against maybe what there is a story about how this individual building house, how the individual travels and all. How do you draw the line? The exempt clauses and that of somebody who is serving a public office, because many people have the opinion when you serve in a public office, you are also open to scrutiny by the public, be it elective office. Let's take for example elective offices.
Okay, the act is also clear, like the one you mentioned, public interest is not only exempt clause of national security and for personal life. That is why in my introductory statement I said the Form D is very important, because had the Form D not been there, it will have created a whole lot of confusion. If after applying for information, we know human beings generally, if you think that by letting out this information, people will know so much about you, but if that is in the public's interest, that is why you should apply to the commission. You should never stop at when the person or the public authority just tells you this falls under exempt clause. No, you don't stop there. If you know that is of public interest, you write to the commission. In fact, I will always advise that you write to the commission for anything. If you are denied information, for you to have clarity that indeed is part of the exempt clauses, write to the commission. It is possible that that person might be hiding something and is just using that exempt information. That is why we have the commissioners there, and we have a legal person and a team of experts that will now sit and determine whether that is an exempt information or not. So it's always good that people apply for information and they'll also complain public authorities when they refuse to give them information.
So let's go back to the notice, the digital access to information platform. We all know how, for example, our telecommunications is. People are in the regions, they are Sierra Leoneans, but maybe the facilities in Freetown are different from those in the regions, and maybe they have something that they would like to pass on, but they could not have, even to make calls is a challenge. What's your other options? On digital, it has to do with people who have your Android phone and effective, telecommunications.
Exactly. That's a very important question. It's very, very important question. People have been asking such questions, and we've been asking them satisfactorily. The digital access to information is just an option, because we are now in the digital space, and we have somebody who actually operates in tandem with contemporary things. That is Dr. Ibrahim Sagasho. He attended the Universal Day for the International Day for Universal Access to Information last year in United Kingdom, and he got a whole lot of ideas there, one of which is to implement digital access to information. So when he returned to Sierra Leone, he engaged all of us, and we started discussing around that, and we started rolling out this digital access to information we are now talking about by establishing a website primarily to facilitate that purpose. And also we have now digitalized all those forms I was talking about earlier. All those forms, we have now digitalized them. To answer your question, if somebody doesn't have access to the internet and all of these things, you can still use the old paper-based system. We are not discarding that at all. So let no one tell you that we've discarded that. You have to compulsorily use the digital platform. If you have access to internet, it's just a way of providing alternatives so that we can have easier, more access to information. So if you can't afford, or if internet is a challenge where you reside, you can still use the paper-based system and request for information. If internet is not a challenge, you can still use the online space by going to our website, www.ric.gov.sl, and then access for information, because all the MDAs, we are trying to embed all the MDAs there. As a pilot phase, we now have 50 MDAs. We are still uploading more MDAs to the website, so that when you click, you just have a drop down, you click, you select one, the MDA you are requesting information from, then you fill in the form and will receive a copy, and the MDA in question will also receive a copy. So it's a way of providing options for people to access information. If you have the digital access, you can use it. If you don't have access digitally, you can use the paper-based system.
All right. So how also does the commission look at the aspects of the challenges as people, and how important to this activity that you send your request now, and what's the timeline to get a reply? But that's another challenge again.
The act is very clear as to the timeline. It's 15 working days. That is the normal access to information time frame. 15 working days. Public authorities sometimes will also advise them, it is not, you don't wait until the 15 working days. If you have the information readily available, you provide it. The first day of the request or the second day of the request, you don't wait until 15 working days. But after 15 working days, the requester can now write to RAIC. Because if you as a public entity refuses to let the requester know about your challenge, because whatever challenge you have, the act is very clear, it's 15 working days. So within the 15 working days, you can let the requester know what is going on. So you take the requester along. Alright, but after the 15 working days, it's a clear violation of the act. It's a clear violation of the act. Then the requester can now write to RIC. That's why we are emphasizing on that. Though if you ask for information, always ensure that you write to the commission. If you are refused access to information, write to the commission. Okay, don't limit yourself to the whatever you are told by the MDA that okay, you wait for some time. No, 15 working days, you give them 15 days. If they fail to give you access to that information you are requesting, you write to the commission after that 15 working days, and the commission will take prompt action as we've been doing.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Amara Tonka, Public Information and Communication Officer, has right to access. Dr. Sambad, why do you have to resort to strike for many times your concerns are addressed?
That's the big
because that's normally is what is actually showing.
Yeah,
you need to actually push for.
Salma, your question just speaks the mind of the executive. That's the same question we ask when we were engaging. We need not to strike for our issues or problem to be solved. We are solving the critical problems of people in the country, which is specifically the health problem. So we need that good mental state to be in a good mood to give all our best to our patient. So if in one way or the other, all the time, I'm working in Cambia, by the way, I'm not in Cambia presently, just because of this strike issue. I'm the vice president. If we have press conference, I'm supposed to be in Freetown. There is no way I can sit in Cambia to work. And in Cambia, I'm the only doctor there. It pains me so much. And by the way, you just draw something extra. I was even query why I was not in my station in the day for a press conference. It doesn't make sense. It begs the question that what are you really asking? I'm alone covering a hospital where you're supposed to get up to 5 doctors. I'm there alone working, and it's not only in Cambia. There are other facilities you have 1 doctors. You can attest to that. Go visit the provinces, and I love working there. Even though when I was Secretary General, I was working in Pujeon. I spent my time there 3 years. I would have used that to do something else. But I love my country. So it doesn't mean people will use way to intimidate us. It doesn't work. It doesn't make sense. Because with or without the medical profession, for me as a professional, I have my life. You understand? So at the end of the day, let us just be realistic. We can't ask too much that the government cannot provide. We are also Sierra Leonean, and we know, please, what we are fighting, we don't want brain drain. And whether you like it or not, we have data. And we've been asking our members during conference. You see somebody will tell you today, I like to be a cardiologist, I like to be ops and gyne. Now everybody's in public health. Because you get one class, they pay them more. Trust me, Salma, you do that research, you can prove that. And if we continue as a nation, trust me, I'm only in Cambia working because I love clinical. My first degree is from Frabi College. I have an honors degree. I was working in Sierra Leone. I left there to come to Commerce to learn clinical work because I love that. I will have just be in the same field, and I'm getting more salary than a doctor. My chemistry is okay. It's an honors degree I have from Frabi College. And the top class, I graduated in top in my class. I would have just stayed in the place. But I love the art of medicine, and that doesn't mean advantage should be taken to some of us. We will never take that. We love our country, and most of the doctors will love our country so much that we can stand and work for our country. However, we need the support from the government again for us to provide the quality care the government is requiring, the universal health coverage the government is requiring. Whatever government is requiring, we are supporting. If you find out the maternal mortality has decreased, we have all these figures going down, who are causing the figure to come down? The doctors and the nurses and the other health professionals. And we are happy as a nation. Do we want that consistency, or do we want something else to happen? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Doctor. That's how we round things up on the program this afternoon. Before we just a reminder of our quote of the week comes from Alan K. Simpson, an American politician, and it says, if you have integrity, nothing else matter. If you don't have integrity, nothing else matter. Thank you so much for watching the podium. The podium returns on Monday.
We present to you, children must go to school.
Yes, it is our right to go to school because we are the future leaders of our nation.
To your favorite program, Focus on Children. Hope you are all doing fine. It has been a while, but we are back to stay. Focus on Children is designed for us to educate, entertain, a place for us to showcase our talents. I am your presenter, Winifred V.I. from the YMCA Preparative School in Platform. In this edition, we visited Bonsida Preparative School at 4th Street. Some of our friends were graduated. I want you to watch as we go.
My name is Samuel Bangwa, a camera operator at SLBC. I always capture the scene you see on TV. So stay glued to the public broadcaster.
My name is Abdul Kabia, a news anchor and sports producer at SLBC.
Hello, I am Esther Maisama, important presenter of SLBC Sport.
I am Princess Gipsy, executive producer, radio, gatekeeping, radio content, producer, public squire, your program that brings you conversation on topical issues, and also presents our breakfast show, Good Morning Sierra Leone.
Hello, my name is Daphne Zainab Kamara. I am a television producer at the SLBC. I also read the news on television and present the podium on television too. I also announce on radio. Stay tuned to the SLBC.
Providing authentic information has been one of the pillars that SLBC relies on. I am Mohamed Simbiko Omar, a reporter who has developed insatiable appetite for human interest stories. Continue to stay with Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation for your best in broadcast journalism.
As a public broadcaster, we believe in giving out objective stories, and your interest is our concern. I am Moses Sile Conte, a reporter at the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation. Stay tuned.